This is John at Happy Wife Acres, and today we're going to make a chick brooder. So a chick brooder is just a box where you put the chicks after you get them home, and they're protected and they get water and food and heat. The one we like to use is this Sterilite. It's a model 1990. It is 33 inches long, 20 inches wide, 13 inches high. We like the clear because you can see through it. And this one does have a clear lid. You've got this piece of welded wire. It is 28 inches by 16 inches. It's 1x2 holes. You buy it in a roll like this at your feed store or hardware store. I just used some simple cutters just to cut out the shape. You don't have to do this, but afterwards I came over to the bench grinder and just ground off the sharp edges. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole in the top. So I'm going to mark this to cut it. I have just a block of wood. It is 2 1/4 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is take my marker, put it on the edge of the wood, and I'm just going to slide this piece of wood. Okay, and then the corners, I'm just going to freehand just more of a circle instead of a straight edges. Now I'm ready to cut this out. To cut this out, you could use a utility knife, razor blade. You could use some heavy-duty shears, but because I have it, the thing I like to use is a Dremel, and it has this little saw blade. So I'm just going to do it the easy way. I've got it propped up on some wood so I don't cut a hole in my table. Alright, so I got this cut out. It comes off. I did use a utility knife on one edge just to make sure I'm not lying to you, make sure it can be done. And it works. Just have a sharp knife and you've got to make several passes to score it until it comes all the way through. This is pretty thick plastic. Okay, so don't need this, but I'm a homesteader, so I'm going to save it for something in the future. I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean up the edges here, and then we'll put the wire on top. To clean it up, I'm just using a razor blade. I'm going to go on at an angle, and it will just scrape the rough parts off. These are the melted parts when I use the Dremel. It does not have to be perfect. It's a chick brooder. You're not entering it in an art show. So just clean it up best you can and get it somewhat smooth. If you have chickens running through your shop, clean up these plastic pieces or they'll eat them. They eat everything. So now I'm going to fix the top. And to do that, I'm going to use zip ties. So don't go cheap on your zip ties. These are nylon. They are about 3/16 in width. A good sturdy zip tie. I'm going to put 5 along this edge, 1 on each end, 1 in the middle, and then 1 in between those. And I'm going to put 5 on this edge, and I'm going to put 1 at the top on this end and 1 on the other end. I've got these holes marked, so I've got it laid out in place. And then I'm going to drill holes, and I'm going to run the zip ties around that to secure the wire. I did bend up the edge right here a little bit because you got a curve here. This is straight, and just to make it fit a little better in that recess, just bend it up a little. Since this is a 3/16 wide zip tie, I'm going to use a 3/16 drill. Just make sure the hole's big enough for the zip tie to go through. So while the chicken behind me tells everyone how proud she is of the egg she just laid, I'm going to zip tie this. I'm going to go from the bottom because I want this head to be underneath, not on the top. Okay? So, pretty simple. Just loop it, zip it, tighten it up, When you're done with them, just come along and snip the tails. Do that 11 more times. All right, so the top wire is on. If you thought this was going to be really flimsy because you cut the middle out, you just bought it back by fixing this wire. It's very stiff. Okay. Now we're going to secure the heat lamp to the top of the lid. This is a standard 10-inch heat lamp. It comes with this guard to keep you from reaching in and touching the hot lamp. And it also comes with this clamp. This is useless to us. We don't need it. So get rid of it. This I'm going to need to modify. It is curvy right now, and I need to make it flat. So you can do this easily with your hand. The only thing watch out for is don't put too much pressure where these two wires come together. They're just lightly welded, and if you bend it too much, they're going to snap apart. I'm going to hold on to this piece securely. I'm not going to put pressure over here. Hold on to this, and I want to straighten this one out. You can do this with your hand. You don't need tools. And then once you get a few inches over, you're going to bend this one back up. Okay? So it's a little flatter. I'm just going to keep doing that until it is flat. Eventually what you're going to do is you're going to affix it, and you want it to be fairly flat. So it's sitting pretty flat right now. Very easy to bend. Just take you a couple of minutes. The place I'm going to affix this to, it's not in the middle because you want the chicks to be able to get away from the heat. So I'm going to go 8 inches in and then to the center. So the center is going to be right here. I'm just going to take my marker, mark it so I know what I'm shooting for. It's going to go right there. And I'm going to use hog rings, which are just pieces of metal, to hold that on. And I'm going to put one on each bar and then one in the middle, and it'll be very secure. If you don't have hog rings, use a coat hanger. Use some wire similar to that and just bend it. You don't want to use your zip ties because it gets hot up under here. You don't want that zip tie melting. And the reason you're doing this is so kids and animals and yourself not going to knock this over and cause a fire. We use these on our Rent-A-Chick program all last year. No problems whatsoever. They just stay secure, no accidents. This is my Hog Ring Tool. You can get these at, actually you can get them at Tractor Supply, feed stores, and then they've got these staples on the inside. They're great for mending fences. I'm just gonna put these two pieces together, squeeze. There it is. I am gonna use pliers just to squeeze it together, make it a little bit tighter. So this is on now, very secure. If you don't have a hog ring tool, and a lot of people don't, if you have rabbits, you're probably familiar with these J-clips. There's a J-clip, but you know, it looks like a J. What a coincidence. And then you have this tool right here. You put the clip in, and then you hook it around two pieces of wire, squeeze, and it goes around. Squeeze. There. And that stays on securely as well. J-clips and a J-clip tool, very handy to have around the homestead. Get them in the section where the rabbit supplies are, because people buy these to put wire together to make rabbit cages. And you save a lot of money if you're building a rabbit cage. This is on nice and secure, so the only thing left is to hook up the light. And again, these are easily bendable, so you know, if it's not in the right position, if it's not bent enough or too much, just bend it till it's good. Right. So the heat lamp is on the top. It is secure. We'll throw in some feed, some water, a little bedding, and this is ready for chicks. That's it. About an hour and a half's worth of work. You've got a real nice brooder that you can use over and over again. Very sturdy, holds up well. The tub is about maybe $20. I don't know how much these are, maybe 10 bucks. Piece of wire on top, some zip ties. So Not a huge investment. You could probably put 6 or 8 chicks in here for a few weeks. As they grow up, it'll get kind of tight, but by then, hopefully, you'll transition them out to a larger space or onto the yard. So, hope this helps. If you make one, tell us how you did it. Maybe you did it a little different than we did. Thanks for watching. We will see you soon on the homestead. Bye.